This is what the uproar is all about. An abandoned iron ore pit 600 kilometers north of Toronto. It's now slowly turning into a man-made lake due to groundwater seeping through cracks in its walls and floor. If proponents win out, in 2 years it will become home to 20 years worth of Toronto garbage. For the past 5 days, opponents who want to block the Adams Mine project from going ahead have stepped up their campaigns, while developers and supporters try to win final approval from the Toronto City Council. Native groups from both the Ontario and Quebec side of the border around Kirkland Lake gather to protest the dumping. They're not impressed that the Ontario government has given the project an environmental assessment, and the Quebec government has also given the project its blessing.
We got a big fight on our hands. We need everybody. We are making history here.
Government assurances are not good enough for Grand Chief Carol McBride of the Temiskaming First Nation. She argues the environmental hearing was not open enough, and no one has proved to her the project is safe.
Let's prepare for the fight, and we're going to win it. We stand to lose the traditional activities that we do on this land. We hunt, we fish, we do traditional activities. We will not lose that. We've lost too much already, and we can't lose this. We have Aboriginal title to this land. The Ontario government has not consulted with us.
It's morning of the big rally organized with a campaign against the Adams Mine. Workers are setting up on Crown land next to the road that leads to the mine. They're hoping thousands will attend today, but with good plowing weather, it may be hard to attract farmers this late in the season. Turnout is more in the hundreds, but those who come get what they want, support from various politicians.
With 2/3 of the population being against this.
Kirkland Lake's mayor, Richard Denton, is here, filling in Toronto MPP Gerard Kennedy on his town politics. His council has voted for the landfill to go ahead, but he's continued his opposition against a project that's been tossed around for 11 years.
We're trying to anoint these people. We're trying to...
At the end of the rally, those who are ready to take part in civil disobedience are asked to go to the center of the field to be blessed for what lies ahead.
I'm just going to say a prayer for God for the fact that you have called us to a high and holy purpose.
That evening, their first tentative act. They block the Adams Mine Road, but decide to let the owner's security in and out to avoid arrest so early in the week. Fran Nychuk is a nurse, a mother of two who's never done anything like this before. She's decided to camp behind the barricade with 40 or so other people, and she's ready to face the consequences.
I want my children and my children's children to be able to call this home, to have a home here. Without water, we won't have a home here. We won't have a countryside. I'm ready to stand up for that.
Morning. The barricade's still up and no arrests have been made. A local reporter questions Carol McBride on how far they'll go.
How long will the blockade last?
As long as it takes.
Pierre Belanger, the spokesman for the group, joins Carol.
We're set up for the long haul, and we have told Toronto, Southern Ontario, and the Ontario government that this would happen.
For three days before we came here, I tried to get a hold of Mayor Lassman, wanted to talk to him leader to leader. He put me off to talk to one of the council members. So he has no respect or no recognition for the First Nation.
But he's liable to learn soon. He's in for a little crash course in, I think, in Canadian human relations.
About 65 kilometers south of the pit, the farmers near Earlton have sprung into action. This is an area where opposition is strong. Today, they block the tracks that will be used to bring the garbage north, stopping freight traffic for the day.
We're going to build like a little train, and then you'll see what we'll do with the train after.
Frank Rivard is a third-generation dairy farmer. His large, extended family farms much of the land around here. His home sits right next to the tracks, but it's not the trains full of garbage he's worried about.
The main problem would be the water. I guess if they pollute our water, everybody has $1 million business that's down the drain. I have to move. I can't even sell the thing, and I can't even drink. What do you do? I mean, what's the use of living here if we don't have it?
To make their point, the farmers build a train of straw with Toronto Mayor Mel Lastman as the conductor, and then proceed to burn it in effigy.
Even when they start shipping it in the north, we'll still be there. I mean, especially a train, that's the easiest thing to stop. I mean, would you quit? I mean, that's my life here, so I can't quit. No way. Not now. Sorry.
If the deal goes through, the project will bring 80 jobs and much-needed tax revenue to the nearby town of Kirkland Lake. Kirkland Lake has thrived on mining, but it's now a town trying to find some future now that most of the mines have been shut down. Mayor Denton, who's also Dr. Richard Denton, one of the town's GPs, says that's not reason enough.
If you have contaminated groundwater, you're not going to have any jobs. And you're going to be destroying all the farmland south of us. You're not going to be having the jobs here in Kirkland Lake.
The whole design is based on the concept that since the pit is below the water table, groundwater flowing in prevents any movement outward. Once the water that's in the pit now is pumped out and the garbage put in, pumps will continue to draw out the contaminated water and take it to a treatment center before releasing it.
This is a computer model. It is not up and running. There's no other cases of it being up and running. So this is a totally new, unproven, untried technology.
At Toronto City Hall, Gordon McGinty, president of Notre Development Corporation, heading the project, comes to Toronto from his North Bay office for the final council vote on the agreement.
Well, I think council will approve. Their only other option is to go to Michigan with about 2 million tons of garbage. We've got the best price on the table. We've got the most flexible contract for diversion and recycling. The people that have been involved in the environmental assessment are completely satisfied in Northern Ontario that a full environmental assessment was done. Every single discipline that is required under study was done. Economics, agriculture, social impact, they were all done. So that I know categorically that the people in the Kirkland Lake, Englehart area are completely satisfied that the environment will be protected.
Those who've been behind the barricade moved to the rail crossing on the Adams Mine Road. They missed the morning train, but do stop a maintenance vehicle from doing its work, an escalation which may provoke the police to act.
There's no ugly Torontonian councillor who's going to decide on our fate. So that's it. We're making a stand. You can see it. It's Quebecers, First Nations, and us Ontarians. He said, no, we will. Okay. This is a dump. It can be called a landfill if you want to dress it up and put some rouge on it, but it is a dump. I would say this is still the ultimate insult of industrial urban Canada to the northern regions. And what I feel we're fighting for is all of the northern belt. This is northern Manitoba, northern BC, and northern Alberta, northern Quebec. We are the first. If we fall, believe me, the other sites, other open pit mines will fall, because this is just too easy for southern Ontario and the southern urban belt.
We were talking about Trudeau, and we were talking about the things that he has done for Northerners, Aboriginal people, and we were having a bit of fun with that when he said when media will be asking us, well, what are you going to do from here on in? We'd say, just watch us.